Welcome to another episode of Postcard from Moorhead. Have we got a treat for you today? We're going to have fried potato cakes. We're going to have fried green tomatoes, turkey meat loaf. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to step out of the way. I'm going to get behind the camera, and this is all Lenore's day.
Today I'm trying a new recipe for meatloaf that Drew Henderson sent me. He thinks it's really good and thought so, Larry, and I thought we'd try it. It's a turkey meatloaf. I'm first going to put in some breadcrumbs. Well, the turkey's already in the bowl. Then I'm going to put some breadcrumbs in, and I never measure if I don't have to, so I think that's enough for now. I'm going to put most of the onions in that I've already chopped, and some go on the outside, so I'll save them. Then I'm going to put a green pepper in. All that goes in. And then I have 2 eggs that I've already beaten. Pour that in. And then I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And I'm going to put in some, it calls for a half a teaspoon of salt, and it calls for pepper. I'm going to put a bunch of pepper in because we like that. And it also calls for ketchup in it, so I'm going to put that, and I'm going to go get something to stir with, so I'll be right back. I'm going to put this ketchup in. It calls for 1/4 cup of ketchup. Then I'm going to stir this up. I'll probably have to use my hands, but I'm going to start out with this spoon. Pretty good, Drew. What do you think, Larry?
Looks good.
Now I'm going to get my pan, and I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to get the pan that it goes on. It's supposed to go into a preheated 350 oven, which I've already done, and it bakes for an hour. This pan, I love this pan. You can put meatloaf or whatever you want on it, and if there's any, if you're using hamburger meat and there's a lot of grease, it just goes right down to the bottom. I don't expect that was this turkey, but I still like to use this pan because it's what I'm used to. So I'm going to put some, let me read just real quick, because since this is the first time. It says to pour the tomato sauce over the meatloaf and then sprinkle the onions over it. So I'm going to do the tomato sauce first. And then take the rest of my onions and sprinkle. And I'm going to slide it into the oven for 1 hour. I want to read you Drew's turkey meatloaf recipe. I used breadcrumbs. I used one medium onion, 2 pounds of ground turkey breast, 1/2 cup of chopped green pepper, 2 eggs slightly beaten, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, pepper, 1 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and I preheated the oven to 350. I mixed everything up together, and I patted it out into a loaf, and it's supposed to cook for an hour. Now when it's not quite finished yet, so when the hour is up, we will show you the end results. We're back in the kitchen, and we have some leftover mashed potatoes from last night, so we are going to make some fried potato cakes. I've already chopped up some onion in the bowl. I'm going to put the mashed potatoes in. We want to have salt and pepper and some flour and an egg. Now I'm going to break the egg into a separate container to make sure I don't get any eggshells in it. Then pour it into the potatoes. I gotta wash my hands. The salt and pepper, and then we'll stir it up. Oh, and the flour. Now I've got some, I don't measure, I'm sorry. I just kind of go by what I think it needs. So put a little flour in. If you don't like the way it looks after you're finished, add more. Salt it. And potatoes absorb a lot of salt. And put the pepper in. Stir it up. So we'll take a little break and we'll come back and fry this. Tonight we're going to have fried green tomatoes. When you fry these, you need to leave these alone till they tell you it's time to turn them. Otherwise, you're going to lose your cornmeal off your tomato, which is the part of the good part. We are going to pepper the tomatoes. Then we're going to salt them. And I like a lot of pepper, as you can tell. If you don't like pepper, do what you like. You don't have to do what just because I like something. Then I'm going to take cornmeal and start sprinkling it on and cover both sides. This is it's on both sides. This is what it looks like after I get all the cornmeal and the salt and pepper on it. And in a minute we will come back and I will start frying the potatoes in the skillet, making little potato patties. Then I'm going to start laying the tomatoes in. I'm going to have to watch both of them closely. I think they're ready to turn. I'm going to turn one of the potatoes, and if it holds together, then I was right. If not, the skillet with your hand. Yes, it was ready.
Well, there it is. There's supper. We've got turkey meatloaf, potato cakes, fried green tomatoes, and a fresh red tomato out of our little flower pot garden. So we're going to give this turkey meatloaf a try. Well, Lenore, are you ready?
Yes.
Let's see what Drew's recipe tastes like.
Good.
It's actually good. I was a little suspicious about turkey meatloaf, but this is some good stuff. Thanks, Drew, for the recipe. It is really good. It's good, if not better, than regular meatloaf. So we'll be doing this again. So until next time, fried green tomatoes to you. And this has been Postcard from Moorhead.